Hey everybody, I want to put a small piece of information out there before I get started on this install. First of all, I don't recommend anyone doing this to their trucks. I'm just doing it because I want to, and it's something that I would really wanting for a while. But I do not suggest anyone doing this unless you absolutely know what you're doing. And I've done a lot of research and a lot of videos explaining a lot of stuff about this, but I want to talk to you about the EGR bolts for the EGR cooler, the ones that are attached to the manifold. So I used PB Blaster on it for a couple days, and then yesterday I went for I drove the truck, got it nice and hot, and on my way back that last night I decided to start pulling these bolts because the engine was nice and hot. So I started releasing the bolts, breaking them off, and it took about between 20 to 30 foot-pounds, just a little bit of pressure, but I used about I think it was a 3/8 socket set with a swivel adapter, or a swivel extension, sorry, because one of the bolts was kind of at an angle, but I still got it off. So, just as a fair warning, PB Blaster, lubricate these bolts, get the engine nice and hot, and then start doing it. Don't wait for it to cool down. I just went ahead and did it right after it was hot, maybe 5 minutes after I got back. Start backing them up, threw some more PB Blaster in there, put it back down, brought it back up multiple times, and let it sit a few more times, and then started backing it out slowly. And then this is what they look like. So about halfway down, these threads started cresting. They're not sharp anymore. So my guess is that if I did not do this while it was hot and these bolts were nice and hot, this would have broke. Probably both of them. Because these threads are rounded out now, or nice and flat. So since it was nice and hot, they were able to mold to whatever was on the block. So they both did that. So which means when I take it out, I'm gonna have to clean out those threads a little bit and make sure that they're with the new bolts. I go in back and forth to clean those threads, but I'm not gonna do that while it's hot. So just want to let you know that making sure the engine is nice and hot, and use some kind of lubricant, spray, WD-40, PB Blaster, whatever, just to lubricate those threads. And it took me probably 10 minutes altogether, but it worked out, and I'm very happy they came out nice and smooth. They did start, having a little bit of a stiffness to about halfway out, but push it back down and then bring it back out, and it came out pretty nicely. So I'm very, very happy about that. So now I'm gonna get started on the removal here, probably tomorrow. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Let's see if you can see them in there. Not really. Yep, right there. See that right there? That hole right there, and the one just to the right of it. So this is from the intake to the EGR cooler, and these are the difficult bolts to get out because it's right on the manifold. So the manifold gets hot and it kind of molds with these bolts. And I've seen lots of videos that explained that you need to get this thing nice and hot to get them out, and it worked. So just wanted to show you that. Alright guys, I've started removing some stuff. Disconnected both battery terminals. Got the air box out of there with the MAP airflow sensor? One of the sensor that's connected to the air box. And I'm next getting on the bumper, disconnecting those bolts right there. Already got those undone. And I'm going to take the front grill off, and then possibly disconnect the drain the coolant from the hose so I can start removing those next. And I've got my trusty little helper here getting into my stuff, so gotta make sure she doesn't get into too much and hopefully tackle this all at the same time. Alright, now to get this bumper off, or the front grille, sorry, there's these tabs right here. One right there, 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 and there. You use the screwdriver to push down right here on the very ends here, and that releases this whole thing. And actually, a couple of videos I saw they had some work, but these ones popped right off, so that's the next thing. As I was removing these, I just noticed something, that these tabs is where the metal clips go into, and one didn't go out. So my guess is we gotta make sure that these are on the grill. Let me get this thing off of here really quick. There we go. Pull that out. Let's go put this on the grill here, so that way nothing is missing. Slip it right. There. I'll make sure that's on completely before I put it back on. Okay, so I've gotten pretty far on this. I've gotten all the exhaust manifolds off the EGR right there, and a lot of the coolant tubes are gone. Pulling that one off of there with those two tabs just to get to the last couple bolts, and I had to take that bracket off the computer here just to get to the last two bolts, which is, you know, not too difficult, but took some time. But in the very back there is a bolt that's holding this thing in right where my finger is back here, and there's a plastic guide or a guard on there, and all I had to do was use my screwdriver and push it off, and it came right off. But there is a nut back there, so I do need to get a end wrench on that and hopefully get that thing off. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, well, one more task is done. It was the harder part, but that bolt in the very back, I got it out finally. I had to move that hose, this one, to the other side, because there was just enough room around here to get a wrench in there. But I got in my 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm, and it took a little bit and busted a knuckle, but I finally got it off. So that's another trick I learned, that I don't have a ratchet or a ratcheting end wrench. So I'm gonna get to the next section and hopefully get this thing out of here in a minute. Alright, well, I finally got it out. The one thing I did forget from other guys is that there was a wire loom that was in the back of the cooler, and luckily it was the only thing I forgot, which is that little thing right there in the middle. It was attached to, it was another sleeve thing, but there was no way I was going to reach that thing, so, I guess the bolt stayed on there. Okay. Guess I didn't know that. And this is what it looks like. It's about, I'd say 50-some pounds. And you can see all the parts that you need to, which is really cool. And that's what I'm really excited about.